Welcome to Rapportkommentar Direkt. With me on link today I have the CFO of Infront, Max Hofer. Welcome, Max.
Hello, Kajsa. How are you?
Let's start off with talking about what happened on the 15th of December. Inflexion launched a takeover bid for Infront of 34.40 Norwegian crowns per share. First off, who are Inflexion?
Yes, so Inflexion is a private equity fund based in the UK. It's operating all across Europe. It's focused on European mid-sized companies where they are basically making minority and majority investments and supporting the management team to further develop their companies.
Infront's board recommended the bid, but the third biggest owner of Infront, Jens Rugseth from Carbon Invest, argue against accepting the offer and urge investors to do the same. Is there a possibility that he can stop the takeover?
That's a good question. As you correctly stated, the board of directors has recommended the bid. And so have also the two co-founders and who are still active in the company, the CEO, Christian Nesbø, and Morten Lindemann, the CIO. They both have also recommended the bid and accepted. With respect to the ongoing process, because it's still a process where the acceptance deadline hasn't come. The acceptance deadline will be on Monday, this coming Monday, on the 15th of February. At 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. I would really recommend that and urge all our shareholders to really go and read through the documentation, read through the bid documentation and the offer materials to really make up their own minds and think about the offer, whether it's a good one and that they want to accept. So for us, it's really something that we cannot finally say whether it will be overturned or go through right now.
But how big a part of the votes does Jens and his followers control?
We know the current shareholdings, of course, of Carbon, which is the holding company of Mr. Rugseth. And we also know that he has spoken to other shareholders that have expressed their basically interest and support for his views. But as again, you know, at this time it's a bit difficult to say how much of support there will be and how many votes will be in favor and against come Monday.
So when can we expect to hear about the outcome of the offer, and what happens if this doesn't get accepted?
So what will happen is that Monday evening there will be made a count of votes in favor and against, and thereafter it will be dependent on the result, of course. It will be different paths forward, and I think you know, I'm representing the company. I cannot talk for Inflexion, that has come up with the offer. So they will definitely think about the result and what it implies for the next move.
So we will have to wait and see. Let's have a look at the numbers now for the fourth quarter. Despite the pandemic, it's been a strong one. Group revenue amounted to almost 30 million compared to 28.5 million euro, and an adjusted EBITDA of 6.2 million compared to 4.8 million. What's your thoughts on the result, Max?
Oh, it was definitely a good quarter for us. It is, as typical with the fourth quarters, a quarter that is also impacted a lot by project-related revenues that we have in Germany, especially, that we get in at the end of each year. So there is some kind of seasonal pattern behind this uptick in revenues. Furthermore, we also had seen a very strong quarter in our subsidiary Transaction Solutions AG, which is handling a lot of trading volumes in Germany currently. And as you're well aware, there has been a lot of volatility, a lot of interest from retail investors in the market, and that has been driving volumes and revenues in this subsidiary. We believe that of course, this is something that is unexpected for us, and it's also something which we don't necessarily will continue to see in the upcoming quarters at this same level. So this might actually reverse, and we think that it could be just a temporary one. Otherwise, the profitability is in line with our plans and expectations of taking out more of the cost synergies. There we are still on track. Of course, also it has to be said that now we're coming into the second phase of the synergy capture plans, which is more about the technical integration. There it is a bit more difficult for us to really guide and forecast when certain costs will be taken out and what the results will be. But overall, we are still on track with respect to the synergies and the cost capture plans. And we are entering 2021 I think on at least a quite positive note.
And how has the business developed during the past quarter?
The business has developed, I would say, quite well. There hasn't been any major losses of customers, and there haven't been any major new client sign-ons. I think it is definitely described by a period of some kind of uncertainty still in the markets. It is difficult to reach out to new customer prospects, and of course a lot of the integration work ties up internal resources towards these projects, and we are not really in a position yet to aggressively go out and trying to capture more market shares from our competitors. So that's something that will only come once the integration process has been completed.
You mentioned it briefly, and we have previously talked about the cost synergies with the VWD group. How's that coming along?
Yeah, so that I think is coming along quite well. It's as I said, it's something that has a lot of focus in the group. At the same time, the technical part of the integration is just about to begun. It will take time. I think our expectations it's at least another 2 years or so until we can shut off some of the legacy systems in place. So it's more like a marathon, and at the same time it's a bit uncertain at what time we will reach certain milestones and can shut down those systems and take out costs. So there is somewhat more uncertainty with respect to the synergies to be captured right now than there were maybe for the first phase of the integration of VWD.
You've also completed a new acquisition of NB Trader. Would you like to tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, NB Trader is an interesting company. It's a rather small company in the UK. It has around 10 employees, and it offers its proprietary order management system, which is a bit of a puzzle piece that we were lacking previously, and that is quite necessary for us to succeed in the UK market. Through the acquisition of NB Trader, we are now in a position to tie together their software together with our products, and through that better coordinate in the UK market and better address the needs of the market participants. And we believe it will help our organic growth in the UK market especially, but it's also something that we expect to take out into other regions in Europe over the next few years.
Max, before we wrap up this interview, what are you focusing on going forward?
We are continuing to focus on our synergy capture plan. I think this is still the first priority that we have. We have also been working very much on tying together the different companies across the group to really form this one Infront spirit, one Infront culture. I think this is really high on the agenda. And of course, I think one thing that I also would like to say as we are concluding our talk right now, Kajsa, is that I really hope that all our shareholders will have the opportunity to read through the offer documents, to make up their mind with respect to the offer in place by Inflexion, and cast their vote. I think that's really something that I would like to stress before we conclude.
Thank you very much for today, Max.
Thank you, Kajsa.